Patriots offense, Greg, let's jump to this game now against the Raiders. First of all, what in the blue hell was going on with that quarterback situation?
Yeah, good question. I don't know for sure, but first of all, the biggest thing is it's about, Belichick and his roster management, because God forbid they don't have a backup gunner ready to go in this game, where I think there was like one kick. Let's see. There was one punt return by the Raiders, and there was one kickoff return by the Patriots. So there were 3 kick returns in this game. Cunningham has the ability to cover kicks. There were a lot of injuries, as Belichick said. So to me, this was about roster management. They were trying to steal a roster spot at quarterback. That's how ridiculous this operation is at this point. And to me, what it also said was they hate Bailey Zappi. They think he is terrible. They thought what he did in the fourth quarter of the previous 2 games was god-awful, which it was, especially this last game when he had an opportunity to go in. And they were like, what the hell is the point? If Bailey is so bad, if Mac gets hurt, or if it's a blowout again and we got to put somebody in, we might as well put Malik Cunningham, who knows nothing about playing quarterback in this system, and just call a couple simple run plays, a couple read option plays, and let him run around. We have a chance to be much more productive if we do that than if we put Bailey Zappi in. So to me, that's what it was about.
It could wipe off the old Jacoby Brissett versus Texans game plan if Mac goes down. Before we get into Mac, because we're going to get into him, I really hope people are appreciating this. You drafted a quarterback in the first round. You've completely mishandled him to the point now where he's looked broken, and you have no backup plan. You've mishandled the first round quarterback to the point he's broken, and your backup plan on Sunday was an undrafted free agent who has been practicing as a wide receiver. Think about that.
He didn't even warm up at quarterback before the game. He warmed up at wide receiver. He didn't even take any throws to get his arm warm if he had to throw.
I mean, that's all you need to know. The quarterback position is the most crucial position in all of sports. It is the one that you cannot mishandle. As a GM or as a head coach, you cannot mishandle that position. And Belichick has fumbled that position so badly, whether you like Mac, hate Mac, whatever. He's ruined Mac from being at least average quarterback to being a puddle for the most part. And then an undrafted free agent wide receiver is your backup quarterback. That's where we're at, folks.
Doesn't it just say everything about what Bill thinks of offense and quarterbacks? He would never leave himself shorthanded on defense. But at quarterback, the biggest position, he's like, if our quarterback gets hurt and we have a shitty offensive line, which it could happen, doesn't freaking matter. Who cares? Just run a ball. Just run a guy out there who can run around and make plays and do a read option. I mean, this is where we are. I mean, if this doesn't tell you how Bill views the game, and contrast that to other teams, the best teams in this league, the teams that are competing for Super Bowls year in and year out. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Ever wish you could navigate the betting field with the confidence of a pro? Enter Odds Are. They're not a sports book, but they're the sports betting advisor you've always needed. It's like having a playbook for smarter bets right in your pocket. I've been absolutely loving the experience, and I think you will too. Especially since Patriots Press Pass listeners get a 30-day free trial. Elevate your game day and join the smart betting revolution. Go get it at oddsr.com/presspass. That's oddsr.com/presspass.
The CLNS Media Network is powered by FanDuel. Sign up at FanDuel.com/Boston and get in on the action with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. When you place a $5 bet, that's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose.
All right, Mac, give me a quick thought on Mac. What'd you say?
I thought he was bad in this game. I really did. I did not have a positive play for him until the throw to Devontae Parker, which granted was unbelievable. I mean, he was not open. Mac threw him open. He put it, right where he had to with the game on the line. And of course, this can further go to, you can put this back into your Mac files that you brought out earlier this year, Nick, in terms of, lack of fourth quarter comebacks and stuff like that. You could put, it doinked off Devontae Parker's hands, which they would have had the ball at the Raiders.
No, Greg, it wasn't off his hands. It was off his fingertips, according to Devontae.
That's right. Yeah. What'd you see? So
next.
So, look, here's the thing with Mac. And I do still believe, and people can roll their eyes, but I've been covering this league long enough. I've covered all sorts of different quarterbacks. Quarterback pressure is real, and the accumulation of pressure is real. The effect that it has on especially pocket quarterbacks is real. And Mac is still in the sort of PTSD stage as far as pressure, to the point where pressure wasn't really that much of an issue in this game. For the first time, I think, all season, or at least since week 1 against the Eagles, it was below 40%. I think I had it at 38%, even as bad as Vidarian Lowe and Antonio Mafi were. Pressure wasn't a huge deal. Here's my issue with Mac at this point. And to me, I think there was enough on film in this game. And you look at the way Bill O'Brien game planned this game. I mean, there were barely any throws downfield. Now, there were opportunities to throw downfield that Mac didn't take. So it wasn't completely dink and dunk, but it was mostly dink and dunk. I mean, most of his passes were within 10 yards or behind the line of scrimmage. And to me, it was around the offensive line and Max Crosby. But it was also about Mac, that they wanted to get rid of the ball as soon as possible. They think at this point he's so shell-shocked that the longer the play goes, the worse it can go for the team. And, look at his interception, for evidence of that. But to me, the bigger issue to me, Nick, and where he is, and maybe he's in the process of settling down a little bit more, and we'll have to see whether he starts against the Bills and whether that continues, because you don't just flip a switch and say, okay, a quarterback who's been sped up is going to slow down. That doesn't happen. You have to build to that. And right. But to me, the biggest issues that I had with Mac is that he left plays on the field. His eyes aren't in the right places on plays. For example, in the first quarter, the 3rd and 7, which was the Adam Butler sack, I put half the sack on Mac and half on Antonio Mafi for not reacting to the stunt well enough, which is a huge problem for him. But so what happens after the snap, Mac is locked into Hunter Henry and Kendrick Bourne in the middle of the field. The problem is that there are 4 Raiders around him. So he should have seen that from the beginning. And he also should have known, Josh McDaniels and Patrick Graham, they kind of know us. They're probably going to take away what we want to do. And so, but what Max should have done was look and say, all right, we don't have the numbers, and then quickly went backside. Devontae Parker is coming on an in-cut. It was there. And Mac didn't make the throw. He took a sack. He was staring at the middle of the field. He's doing that more and more. It happens all the time. There was, in the second quarter, Mac Jones checked it down to Ramondre Stevenson on 1st and 10 for 4 yards. Bill O'Brien had a great call. He figured the Raiders would be in Tampa 2 coverage. They were in Tampa 2 coverage. He had a beater called, and he had Kendrick Bourne on the left sideline with his hand up, but Mac never looked over there. His eyes aren't in the right place. That happens all the time. You have the interception. If people want to look, I have a thorough breakdown on BSJ on all my minus plays for Mac, what went wrong. I also have video that you can watch. There were also third quarter, 3rd and 8, Mac Jones pass incomplete, short left to Hunter Henry. I think that was when he was well covered. Again, Mac gets locked into Hunter Henry. He's just staring at him. It's not there where Bourne is open. He's wide open in the middle of the field. Why is Mac staying locked? This is not the Mac Jones that I know. This is not the Mac Jones from his rookie year. He is getting locked into things. His eyes aren't in the right place. This happens over and over again. There was the deep shot to Tyquan Thornton. That was a balloon ball 10 feet out of bounds. It wasn't even close. And that's a ball you need to throw up. And by the way, Tyquan Thornton's speed was real on film. There's definitely something there, but I don't know if Mac can throw it to him. That's how fast he is and the issues with Mac right now. The Ty Montgomery, where Ty Montgomery caught the ball, but it should have been picked off by the Raiders in the red zone. Mike Gesicki's wide open in the middle of the field. Like, his eyes just aren't in the right place. And to me, watching this film, if Bill O'Brien and Bill Belichick went back and if they said, yeah, that's it. Like, it's not getting any better. He had the opportunity to make plays in this game. He's not making any plays. Like, what are we doing here? This game plan is so simple at this point that whether it's Bailey Zappi or Will Grier, they can do it. To me, it's just a matter of time. That Mac's on a 1 game sort of contract. Like, let's see how it looks this week. If they send him to the bench this week, it would not surprise me in the least. But if he gets another chance, okay. But as far as what's next, and I know people are taking my quotes out of context and things like that. Bailey Zappi does not have much support in the building. Now, some of his support, like say from Joe Judge, might be influential over Bill Belichick because he's assistant head coach. I don't know. I would say that there are, from my discussions, there are more people who want to see what Will Grier can do, who got an increase in practice reps this week. So if I had to guess, I think that Will Grier would get the next opportunity. Is he quite ready? Probably not. But I think, like I said, I think Mac's on a week-to-week basis at this point, and the film in this game was not good enough and is evidence, if they want it, to move on from him and do something different.
I think you've got to keep him in for as long as you can keep him in. And I say that because this is about 2024 now. And whether you want to keep Mac or not keep Mac getting benched or Mac, continuing to just look god-awful is really a bad scenario for this team in the long term. And not even if you don't believe in Mac Jones, because what you want is you want to try to rebuild his value. And because right now, if you traded him, you might get like a 5th round pick for Mac. Trey Lance went for a 4th, and that guy played a handful of games in 5 years. So you might get a 4th. But here's the thing. If you believe that he's capable of taking the baby steps and getting not back to what he was at the beginning of the year, but if you can get him through the next couple of games and the schedule softens and he plays like at least a decent NFL quarterback, that will raise his value because other teams will look at him and say, you know what? He wasn't going to get much more out of that system with how it was run and with the lack of talent. So you might get a team willing to give up a 2nd or 3rd round pick this offseason if you can rebuild his value. If you shut him down, you shut him down. That's it. And his value doesn't go up. It doesn't go down. It's just, it is what it is right now. And then people look at him as a reclamation project. So I understand, and I can't debate people that want to shut him down now. If that's what you want, that's what you want. Okay, I get it. But if you're looking at the big picture and trying to set this team up to be as good as it can be in 2024, even if Mac is not part of the picture long term, and even in 2024, the best thing you can do is try to rebuild some of that value so you can get a better draft asset, more draft capital out of the guy you picked in the 1st round a couple of years ago. So unless you're absolutely sure that Will Grier's an upgrade, yeah, you keep throwing Mac out there. If he flames out, you lose more games. He flames out, whatever. But you're taking a shot that he can slowly kind of get back and rebuild. And if you're at the end of 2023 saying, man, that was a shitty season, but the quarterback is not a lost cause, you're better off than saying everything sucks, everything was shitty, the quarterback is done. So I think you have to, even in the long term, even if you don't want him, you've got to try to repair that so you can get something for him this offseason.
With the busy fall season already in swing, you might be looking for wholesome, convenient meals for jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, can help you fuel up fast with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. Head to factormeals.com/PressPass50 and use code PressPass50 to get 50% off. That's code PressPass50 at factormeals.com/PressPass50 to get 50% off.